Hey everybody, hope you're having an amazing day so far and that you had a fabulous weekend. The weather was so spectacular. It was great to get outside and hopefully you did that, but you kept proper physical distancing because you want to keep yourself safe and the people safe around you because it's very important. So I want to share with you on our weekly Devo some thoughts from Second Peter, but before I get there, let me take you back to 1999 and this iconic movie called The Matrix. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, I don't know, but you should check it out. Pretty philosophical. So this guy, Neo, played by Keanu Reeves, is a computer programmer, and he's just kind of doing life, just routine, normal, average guy. But each night, he gets onto the internet and begins to search because he's aware or has heard of this thing called the Matrix, that there's something bigger, something deeper out there. And so he gets connected with this guy, Morpheus, this internet personality, and Morpheus lays down this challenge for him. And he says, hey, here's the deal. I've got a red pill and a blue pill. Now, if you take the red pill, Neo, you're going to be awakened to the truth of reality. You're going to understand that you are held captive right now to a system. You're going to be enlightened. Life's going to look a whole lot different. You're going to be set free. But you have to understand that life's going to get harder. It's not going to get easier with this newfound knowledge. Or you can take the blue pill. And the blue pill is simple. It's comfortable. You take this pill, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, life's going to be the same, you're going to do your average daily thing every day of your life, and basically you can believe whatever you want to believe. So that's the easy path. And so it's red pill, blue pill. Now, spoiler alert, Neo decides to take the red pill. I figured because if he doesn't, then Hollywood doesn't really have much of a story, and The Matrix becomes just another canned ho-hum, movie, right? So, takes the red pill. Immediately he's awakened, and he has now joined the rebellion against the system that has held him captive. And he's got this, sense of the truth of reality now. Choices, we face choices every day, and maybe it's not a red pill, blue pill scenario, but we do face a choice to live life in a way that influences the world around us, or we just simply live in a way that we allow the world and its ideas, to just influence us, right? Now, the world isn't this bad, evil, dark place. I'm not saying that, right? There's so many great things in our world, but the reality is that there's a lot of systems of our world and ideas that it puts forward that are temporal, and these things don't last, and ultimately they don't fulfill us. So for Peter, who's writing to this group of people way back in the New Testament, he's writing to a group of people to encourage them towards Jesus, because in Jesus, he has seen that there is this deeper life. There's something way beyond the normal mundane, because nobody wants to live a mundane life, right? Nobody wants to live this boring life that's just routine. We want to live in such a way that it's meaningful and that we have a destination and that there's purpose to it. And so that's why The Matrix resonated with so many people, because all of us can relate to that idea that we want to find something deeper in our lives. And for Peter, that depth and that life that had purpose was in Jesus. So he's writing to this group of people, and you have to understand that this group of people is hearing from some false teachers. These guys are promoting some weird ideas, and they're saying things like, in order to follow Jesus, you got to have this special knowledge that only we have. So you're going to need to come to us in order to find out what the secrets are so that you can live life well. The reality is that Jesus is the one who has demonstrated to us what we need to live. So here's what Peter says. He says in 2 Peter 1, verse 3, he says, his divine power has given us everything that we need for life and godliness, through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. Through these he has given us his very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. So Peter's actually saying, look, you don't need a secret knowledge. Jesus has given you everything that you need to live life, right? And that's this first thing. I want you to understand this, and I hope that you remember this, that Jesus in his life gives you everything that you need to live life well. It's complete. Now, that's not to say God can't speak to us through, a person or a book or a movie, right? God can definitely continue to speak, and he still does. But we have everything we need to live life that is godly and to live life well and to be an influencer, to influence the people around us. And Peter is saying, look, you've been able to partake of the divine nature. Not that you're becoming, these gods, but you get to share in the nature of Christ and in his life and in his teaching. So you're going to find purpose. You're going to understand you've got a greater destination and you've got a greater reason to live every day of your life. And that's to bring him glory, to love him and love the people around you. So that first thing I want you to think about is this idea that Jesus has given you everything you need to live life well. So how do we kind of, do life? What does that actually look like? Well, here's the second idea. Faith in Jesus is not static, it's dynamic. And here's something, it requires effort. Now, we're not trying to kind of strive in our own strength. We're not trying to do things on our own here. But the reality is it requires discipline. It requires some effort, to grow, right? We don't just simply sit still and obviously just grow on our own. There's things that have to happen, and we have a part to play in that. I'm currently in some new exercise stuff that I've been doing for a few weeks now, and I'm finally starting to get into the rhythms, and my body aches and hurts, and I feel tired, and there's days I don't want to do it. But there's benefit to it, and I'm starting to see the benefits. The Bible says that physical fitness is of some value, but godliness has value for all things. So how do we get to this point where life takes on a little bit different meaning or a deeper purpose? Well, here's what Peter says. He says, look, for this very reason, right, because you want to follow Jesus and you've sharing in his life, for this reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. See, our faith isn't static, it's dynamic. We're making a daily effort to add these things to our lives. But it's not a checklist, like, you get a little bit more self-control today, so you put a gold star on the wall. We're not saying that. We don't want to make it a checklist. But what we're saying is this: if we're spending time with Jesus and we believe that his life has given us everything we need to live life well, if we're hanging out with him on a regular basis, these are the things that begin to take shape and to take root in our lives. And it becomes beautiful. It's not perfect, and we stumble and we fall, we take steps backwards, absolutely. But this is a picture of the things we want to add daily so that our life looks different. So why do we do this? Why bother? Peter says this: if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. But whoever does not have them is nearsighted and blind, forgetting that they have been cleansed from their past sins. So what he's saying is we add these things to our faith, we strive in them, we make every effort to add these things so that we're effective and we're productive in our understanding of Jesus and living life that honors him and blesses the people around us. That's what it's really about. But if we don't add these things and we just sit and kind of don't hang out with Jesus and we stay static, then we're nearsighted and blind, spiritually speaking, and we don't see what God has for us, and we miss the messages that he wants to bring. So Jesus has given everything we need to live life well. Our faith is not static, it's dynamic, and we make efforts to add these things to our faith, right? And the reason that we do it is because we want to be productive and we want to be effective. We want to be useful in the Master's hands. We want to be instruments that are blessing people and drawing other people to Jesus. So the choice we face, right, is to add these things on a daily basis, which honors God, or we just kind of keep doing life according to the systems and the values that the world throws at us. And believe me, those things don't ultimately satisfy. We know that if we think about it long enough. So here's this practical thing I want you to do this week. Think about the messages that you're hearing through Instagram or on TV, or songs you're listening to, books you're reading, whatever that is. Look at the messages that you're taking in and ask yourself this question: are the messages that I'm taking in, are they moving me closer to Jesus, or are they pushing me further away? And do the hard checks. Ask the hard questions about what it is that you're filling yourself with, because we know that what we fill ourselves with, we often live out of those beliefs. And that's such a big thing, because if we begin to believe false messaging, or messaging that kind of holds us captive to a system that can't ultimately satisfy us, we start to see ourselves and others differently. And so I want to challenge you in that. Think about the messages that you're taking in this week, and decide that rather than entertaining those things, you're going to add to your faith all those things that Peter listed. And you can check them out again in 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 to 11. So I hope you have a great day. Make sure that you keep checking in with us through our various things, Instagram, SLC Eden, slceden.com on our website. You'll find all kinds of stuff you can plug into, and definitely let's continue to be in community. So God bless, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.